Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Think about that for a second. In a world where we're constantly being told how to think, feel, and live, what if you could find peace and happiness no matter what chaos is happening around you? That's not just inspiring, it's powerful. It's a mindset shift. And it's exactly what Stoicism offers us. This isn't just philosophy. This is about your life, right now. It's about staying grounded in a world full of noise. It's about waking up with calm and clarity when everything else feels like it's spinning. It's not about changing the world overnight. It's about changing how you move through it, starting with your mornings. If you've ever woken up feeling stressed, rushed, or just plain uninspired, you're not alone. But imagine turning that around. Imagine your mornings becoming a launch pad, a time that sets the tone for your entire day, helping you show up with purpose, energy, and presence. If that sounds like something you've been looking for, then keep watching. Because in this video, we're diving deep into Stoic strategies that don't just help you build a better morning routine, they help you build a better life. And by the way, if you've made it this far, you're not like most people. You're here because you care about living with intention. You're someone who seeks meaning, not just entertainment. That alone sets you apart. Now, let's talk about a concept you may not have heard before, but it could completely change how you see your life. It's called Ikigai. It's a Japanese term that loosely means reason for being. And it's all about finding that sweet spot where your passions, your skills, what the world needs, and what you can get paid for all come together. Sounds simple, right? But it's incredibly powerful. Imagine waking up each day, not because your alarm forced you to, but because you're genuinely excited about what's ahead. That's what living with Ikigai feels like. Now here's the cool part. Marcus Aurelius, although not Japanese, believed something very similar. He believed each of us has a role to play, that we're here to contribute something meaningful. He didn't want us to just exist. He wanted us to live with integrity and purpose. So how do you find your Ikigai? Start with 4 questions. What do I love? What am I good at? What does the world need? What can I get paid for? You might not have all the answers right now, and that's okay. This is about exploration. Try new things. Reflect. Listen to what energizes you. Your Ikigai isn't something you just discover. It's something you uncover layer by layer. And the beauty of this? When you start to align your daily actions with your deeper purpose, even the boring stuff starts to feel meaningful. Your relationships deepen. Your creativity flows. And your happiness? It stops being a rare moment. It becomes a steady state. Now, let's zoom in on something super practical, your evening routine. That's right, because how you end your day directly affects how you begin the next. It's easy to crash in front of Netflix, scroll endlessly, or let your mind race right up until bedtime. But here's the thing, your brain needs time to power down. It needs closure. It needs quiet. What if, instead of treating your evening like a throwaway, you started treating it like a sacred transition? You don't need to go full monk mode. Just start small. Limit screen time an hour before bed. Journal or jot down 3 things you want to focus on tomorrow. Do some deep breathing or light stretching. Maybe read a few pages from a book that inspires you. This isn't about rules, it's about rituals. You're telling your brain, hey, it's time to rest, and setting the tone for a powerful morning. And this is where Stoicism really shines. It reminds us, you can't control everything, but you can control how you begin and end your day. That matters a lot. One of the simplest but most effective practices? Deep breathing. Seriously, it's underrated. Inhale slowly, hold, exhale slowly. That's it. It reduces stress, slows your heart rate, and helps you let go of all that mental clutter. And now let's flip to the morning. What if the first 30 minutes of your day weren't hijacked by emails, texts, or social media? What if, instead, they were quiet, intentional, peaceful? Marcus Aurelius wasn't dealing with smartphones, but he definitely had distractions. Yet he always came back to this: be present. Do what's in front of you with care. Focus on now. That still applies. Maybe more than ever. So tomorrow morning, resist the urge to check your phone first thing. Instead, spend the first few minutes with yourself. Reflect. Meditate, right? Drink your coffee slowly. Whatever it is, let it be yours. This isn't wasted time. It's investment time. You're creating a calm, focused energy that'll carry you through whatever comes next. And don't worry about making your mornings perfect. This isn't about being flawless. It's about being consistent. It's about showing up for yourself every day. So if you've ever felt like mornings are just something to survive, what if they became something you looked forward to? What if they became your secret weapon? Here's a practical place to start. Wake up at the same time every day. Simple? Easy? Not always. But it's powerful. Waking up consistently tells your body and mind, I'm in control. I choose how my day begins. Sure, some days it'll be hard. You'll want to hit snooze. You'll want to give in. But those are the exact moments where you build strength, where you practice what the Stoics called perseverance. And over time, those small decisions add up to big changes. Because here's the truth: consistency is the foundation of transformation. And don't forget, self-discipline isn't about being harsh. The Stoics weren't robots. Marcus Aurelius actually reminded himself, over and over, to be patient with his mistakes. He knew growth doesn't come from self-loathing, it comes from self-compassion. So when you slip up, and you will, don't beat yourself up. Reset. Try again tomorrow. We're all human. We're wired to seek comfort, but we're also capable of incredible growth when we show up with intention. In part 2, we're going to explore how small, seemingly unimportant actions, like making your bed or placing your alarm clock across the room, can be powerful expressions of self-mastery and intention. These aren't chores. They're opportunities to reinforce the person you're becoming. Let's talk about the little things, those tiny, everyday choices that seem too small to matter, but actually shape who you are. Take something like putting your alarm clock across the room. Seems trivial, right? But here's what you're really doing. You're creating friction between you and the snooze button. You're giving yourself just enough space to make a conscious decision instead of a sleepy impulse. It's not just about getting out of bed. It's about proving to yourself, I'm in charge. I follow through. Or how about making your bed? Again, super simple. But this one small act says, I care. My environment matters. I matter. You're bringing order to your space, and that creates a ripple effect throughout your day. It's not about the bed, it's about what the bed represents: discipline, care, and a fresh start. These aren't chores. They're rituals. They're little victories. And each one is a vote for the type of person you're becoming. As Marcus Aurelius would put it, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. That starts with your actions, no matter how small. You don't have to wait for some huge life change to start living with purpose. You can start right now, with the next decision you make. The Stoics weren't obsessed with grand gestures. They believed in showing up consistently, in doing what's right, no matter how ordinary it might seem. Because the truth is, we can't control the big stuff most of the time. We can't always avoid setbacks, bad news, or difficult people. But we can control how we start our day, how we manage our space, and how we respond to the little discomforts, like getting up when we said we would. That's Stoicism in action. And here's the thing. These practices don't just build discipline for its own sake. They prep you for life. When you consistently follow through on your habits, even the small ones, you're training your mind to be resilient, focused, and reliable. You're building the muscle of self-trust. And that's a game changer. But let's zoom out again for a moment. Building habits, creating routines, staying consistent, it's all easier when you're not doing it alone. That's where having an accountability partner can be a total game changer. Someone who supports you, checks in with you, and gently nudges you when you're slipping. It's not about pressure, it's about partnership. This person could be a friend, a family member, a coworker, or even someone you meet online who's on a similar journey. The important part is trust. You both need to be open, honest, and committed to growth. Think of them as your mirror, someone who reflects your goals back to you when you're tempted to forget them. They're there to remind you why you started, to celebrate your progress, and yes, to give you that little push when motivation runs low. And here's what's cool. The Stoics were all about this kind of relationship. They saw community and friendship as essential for developing character. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus all emphasized the value of learning from others, of encouraging each other to live better, more virtuous lives. So don't try to do it all alone. Invite someone into the process. It'll make your wins feel even better, and your setbacks feel a little less heavy. And speaking of setbacks, there's one Stoic practice that can totally reframe how you deal with life's inevitable curveballs. It's called negative visualization. Now, at first glance, this might sound, well, negative. But it's actually the opposite. It's one of the most empowering tools you can use. Here's how it works. Take a few minutes, maybe during your morning walk or while sipping coffee, and imagine something going wrong. Not to scare yourself, but to mentally prepare. Maybe you imagine traffic making you late, or a meeting going sideways, or your plans falling through. Now, imagine how you'd handle it. What strengths would you tap into? How would you stay calm? What would you do? This isn't about being pessimistic, it's about being ready. So when life actually throws a challenge your way, you're not blindsided. You've already rehearsed. You've already built emotional resilience. The Stoics did this constantly. They knew life was unpredictable, but instead of fearing what could go wrong, they prepared for it, and in doing so, they feared less. And here's the paradox. By imagining what you could lose, you actually start appreciating what you have even more. Suddenly, your morning coffee isn't just caffeine, it's a gift. Your healthy body? A privilege. That quiet moment before the day starts? Pure gold. Negative visualization helps you see the value in what you've already got. It deepens your gratitude, and gratitude is one of the most powerful tools for happiness. Which brings us to another game-changing habit, ending your day with gratitude. This can be as simple as keeping a little journal by your bed. Before you sleep, write down 3 things you're grateful for. Don't overthink it. A good conversation, a delicious meal, a challenge you faced and got through. Doing this trains your mind to focus on abundance instead of lack, on what went right instead of what went wrong. And this ties beautifully back to Stoicism. The Stoics always emphasized appreciation for what we have, especially since we don't know how long we'll have it. Ending your day with gratitude doesn't just help you sleep better, it helps you wake up with a better mindset. It's a loop. One positive habit feeding into another. Mornings, evenings, small tasks, mindset shifts, they all work together. You don't have to change everything overnight. Just start where you are. Choose one practice. Maybe it's waking up 15 minutes earlier. Maybe it's journaling at night. Maybe it's simply breathing deeply before you check your phone. Whatever it is, start. Because every action you take is shaping the life you're living. And that's what Stoicism is all about. Now in the final part of this series, we're going to dive into the most powerful Stoic reminder of all, Memento Mori, the practice of remembering death. It might sound dark, but it's actually the ultimate wake-up call to live fully, love deeply, and prioritize what truly matters. Alright, Now we've come to one of the most profound and life-changing ideas in Stoic philosophy, Memento Mori. It means, remember you will die. I know, heavy, right? But stick with me, because this concept is not about being morbid or fearful. It's about urgency, clarity, purpose. It's the ultimate motivator to stop wasting time and start living with intention. The Stoics, especially Marcus Aurelius, leaned into this idea hard. He wrote in his Meditations, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think." This isn't about living in fear, it's about living fully. When you realize your time is limited, suddenly the petty stuff, the arguments, the stress, the scrolling, loses its grip. You see what matters more clearly. You focus on the people you love, the work that fulfills you, the kind of legacy you want to leave behind. And that changes everything. Imagine waking up each morning and asking yourself, if today were my last day, would I be proud of how I spent it? Would I be proud of how I treated others? Would I be proud of how I treated myself? That question hits different. It cuts through the noise. It reminds you, this day, this moment, is not a given. It's a gift. So how do we weave this into our daily lives? It starts with a simple morning reflection. Just take a moment to consider, I'm alive today. I don't know how many more mornings I'll get. So what can I do with this one to make it count? You're not trying to create pressure or fear. You're cultivating presence and appreciation. It could mean spending a little more time with your kids before rushing off. Or sending that message to a friend you've been thinking about. Or finally starting that thing you keep putting off, because there's time. This perspective grounds you. It gives weight to your decisions. It inspires courage. And it builds a sense of urgency, not the frantic kind, but the kind that reminds you to stop waiting for someday. Because someday isn't promised. This mindset can also make you incredibly resilient. When life hits you with setbacks, and it will, you remember that you still have this moment. You still have the power to choose your response. You're still here. And that alone is worth honoring. Now, you might be thinking, okay, that's powerful, but isn't it kind of heavy to think about death every day? Here's the surprising part. It actually lightens you. Because it helps you let go of the things that don't matter. The grudges, the comparisons, the need for perfection. And in their place, you cultivate gratitude. Gratitude not just for the good days, but for the ordinary ones. You start seeing beauty in the mundane. A cup of tea, a walk outside, a quiet evening at home. Because you realize these are the moments that make a life. And when you end your day, that's the time to reinforce that awareness with one of the simplest yet most transformative practices, gratitude journaling. We talked about this earlier, but it's worth repeating. Every night, take just a few minutes to write down what you're grateful for. It might be something big, a breakthrough at work, a deep conversation, or something small, the sun on your face, a meal that hit the spot, a moment of laughter. You don't need a fancy notebook, just a pen and a few quiet minutes. This practice doesn't just make you feel good, it rewires your brain. Studies show that consistent gratitude journaling can lead to better sleep, lower stress, and higher overall life satisfaction. And from a Stoic point of view, it's a way to keep your focus on what you have, not what you lack. Gratitude and mortality awareness go hand in hand. When you're conscious of how short life is, you stop taking things for granted. You notice more. You feel more. You appreciate more. That's the Stoic secret. Not just to endure life, but to embrace it. Let's zoom out and connect the dots for a second. You've now got 10 powerful strategies inspired by Stoicism to help you not just build a better morning routine, but a better life. The quality of your thoughts, protect your mind, because it shapes everything else. Evening routines. Prepare for tomorrow by winding down with intention. Digital boundaries. Start your day on your terms, not your phone's. Create a peaceful morning space. Fuel your soul before facing the world. Build consistency. Wake up at the same time to establish control and rhythm. Practice self-compassion. You're human. Be kind and keep going. Small disciplines. Make your bed. Move your alarm. Celebrate the little wins. Accountability partners. Grow with someone who supports and challenges you. Negative visualization. Mentally prepare for life's curveballs and gain appreciation for what's here now. Memento Mori and gratitude. Live like life is precious, because it is. This isn't about being perfect. The Stoics weren't perfect. Marcus Aurelius wrote meditations to remind himself of what he kept forgetting. This is about becoming someone who lives deliberately. Someone who doesn't sleepwalk through life. Someone who wakes up, not just physically but mentally. So tomorrow morning, before anything else, pause. Breathe. Remember who you want to be. And start your day with that intention. And if you ever fall off track, guess what? The Stoics have your back. You haven't failed. You've just been given another opportunity to try again. That's what tomorrow is, a fresh canvas. And if this video helped spark something in you, some insight, some shift, even just a sense of maybe I can do this, then I hope you'll stick around. We've got a whole playlist of videos diving deep into Stoicism, mindset, habits, and the daily practices that help you live a richer, more meaningful life. Hit like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments, because this journey is better when we walk it together. You are not alone in this. Let's build mornings that inspire us. Let's create days that fulfill us. And let's craft lives that reflect who we truly are. Thanks for being here. This is the Stoic Journal community, and this is just the beginning. See you in the next one.